Oh, that's kind of strange. Piccia, you're still sharing your screen so we can see there we go. We can still see part of your screen. I'll tell you what, for convenience sake, I'll just put me on for a moment, and then when you've unshared your screen, give us a shout.
Should I unshare? Oh, sorry. I thought.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we can't see your lovely face. How we? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's put us both on. Yay! There we go. That's better. Great. Hi, hello. How are you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us yet again. It is another WP Builds.
Oh, hang on. I've got.
Ooh, you all right? You got a problem?
I have got too many things going on.
That's all right.
Okay, good.
Well, I'll keep talking because I've got plenty that I need to say whilst you straighten yourself out, if that's all right. I'm trying out a new thing, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this, right? So this is wpbuilds.com/live, right? And if you were to go to this place, then press play, you actually get the live feed. Now, in my case, it's sort of buffered and it's a bit behind, but hopefully it's kind of working. I might refresh it. The purpose of this is it's just a simple place to remember, so you don't have to follow a particular thread or anything like that. So look, there we are. And the nice thing about this is as well, it's kind of I've got so long as you're signed into YouTube, I've got comments down here, and the piece of software that we use to enable this whole thing to work is called Ecamm. And Ecamm is not given access to Facebook groups, which means that all the comments that go into the Facebook group I struggle to keep up with because I'm trying to look at two places at once. But so if anybody wanted to go over to wpbuilds.com/live and click on that page and maybe use these comments, or you can click this button here and you can just open up an entirely separate tab with just comments in. So hi, there we go. That's maybe a nice way of sort of keeping in touch. Anyway, that's a complete aside. We're not here to talk about me and YouTube and things like that. We're here to say hello to Piccia. How you doing, Piccia?
I'm very well, thank you. How is everyone?
Yeah, I hope they're all right. Hello, says Matt. Carl says hello, and I'll take a carrot muffin, says Matt Davis. Okay.
Yeah, because he was promised cake.
Was he? Oh, right.
He was.
Right. In which case, apologies, Matt. There is zero cake. I have no cake at all. Just wanted to use your comments as requested. Thank you, Matt. You see, and look what I get to do. Look at this nice thing. Now, my problem is that I have no way. Look, I get to move your comments around. Let me see if I can make them look a little bit nicer. How's that? Yay!
How do you like?
Look.
How do you like? Do you like the blurred background?
It's up to you. I personally don't like it, but look, there's Matt. There's me saying hi, and if I put Matt's comment in, look, Matt's comment gets put in as well, and I can make it go all over the place, and it's really stupid.
Is it in the live?
Yeah, if you go to wpbuilds.com/live and comment in that comment box. Then
can I turn the volume off though, because before the problem was
right click on the tab at the top and then click on or click mute site.
Mute site.
Yeah, you right click and click mute site.
There you go. Because before when we started, I hadn't realized that I had the live going on in all different windows, so that's why I had. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, cool! That is really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. So anyway, we're here to talk about UI and UX. Piccia obviously has a great heritage in design for the web and making things easy for people to use and utilize on the web. And as always, we ask people to go to wpbuilds.com/UI and submit your websites. And this month, a few people have done exactly that. And so Piccia's going to take control of the microphone and go through these websites one at a time. So perhaps, Piccia, if you're feeling able, do you want to share your screen again?
I feel able.
You feel able. That's good. We're all ready to go.
I just wanted to say that I'm going to have to leave at like 5 to the hour latest.
It's cool.
Because I have a WordCamp Valencia organizers meeting where I'm a complete fraud because I just, I don't really organize much. But anyway, so hello everyone. Here we are again. Now, in these reviews, I really want to start talking a little bit more about UX as well as UI. The point is that sometimes it's difficult to both talk about UX when you don't know enough about a website, but sometimes certain things do come to the fore quite clearly that are to do with UX and not just the user interface. But having said that, the user interface is an important part of UX, and you can often get things improve things substantially just by looking at the UI. However, the user experience is also is more to do with the flow, and it is the whole of the experience. For instance, also how does it work when someone buys a product, for instance. So there's a limit, obviously, to what we can do, but I always try and look at the bigger picture. Now, This is a really exciting site to look at, BlogVault. I'm honored that BlogVault want to ask me, and I actually saw them at WordCamp New York just a couple of weeks ago. So that's really nice. Now, first of all, BlogVault, I don't know if you know it, but I think that it's one of the best WordPress backup systems that I've used personally. You're in a completely safe as houses place, and I haven't used it for a while. I don't know why I stopped using it. I can't remember why, but it was a very easy system to use. Now, the first thing that strikes me when I land here, because inevitably my judgment of the page is biased by the fact that I do know the product. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It actually can give you, sometimes it gives you an edge on it. You're sort of in a better position to give an opinion. Now, so the first thing is that, and that could be me, my personal bias, but when I see the most reliable WordPress backup plugin, I don't see technically it is a plugin that you install on your site, but I don't think of it as a plugin. I think of it as a system, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would.
More than a plugin, because I feel that the plugin is a little bit reductive. I feel that generally speaking, when I think of a plugin, it's something that happens on the website. And yes, you can have incredibly complex plugins that perform many functions, but I feel that with BlogVault, plugin is a little bit reductive, and I really think that the UX of copy is hugely important. So, and again, I don't know, maybe this is something that they got to, that the BlogVault team got to after lots of reflection and testing and so on. So I don't know, when I make sweeping judgments like this, it's not meant to be a judgment, it's more of an observation. And sometimes you do need an observation from an external party, because obviously I'm completely objective. It's just it's a reaction. So as such, it's quite immediate in a way. So it's not the product of reflection. And actually, because I'm sure that lots of you know already, and some of you are already in it, like Matt, I am producing, as I speak, a course on UX, which will also have a little bit on UI. And at the moment, I am finishing off the module on human-centered design. And I'm going over the emotional system. So basically, we all have, in recent years, recent decades, the importance of emotions in design has, come to the fore much more than it ever had. And so the very first reaction that we have is called the visceral reaction. Mm-hmm. So the very first thing that I say is always a visceral reaction. The visceral reaction is the reaction that we have to something that's beautiful, for instance. So the visceral reaction is something that Apple products always elicit. You get a visceral reaction because you think, it's beautiful, I want it. Right. And then you have the behavioral reaction. You think, okay, it makes me feel smart, So because I can master it, I can use it, so I can use it. And then the reflective reaction is when you go, okay, actually the magic mouse is actually gives me carpal tunnel syndrome, so maybe I shouldn't buy it. So this is, so I've been doing that right now. So that's this first thing that I think. So my visceral reaction to this is that I really love the color. It makes me feel calm, but it's like a green blue that's cold, and therefore cold colors seem to be preferred for technology. So that works. So I would say that in terms of what they want people to do, this works, because I'm guessing, that always the recommendation is put on your homepage, the first thing that you need to put is what you want them to do. And obviously they want you to start a free trial. That's what they want you to do. So thumbs up for that. That's absolutely the right thing to do. I don't think you're going to see it because I am only sharing the app window, but I want to see what happens if oh yeah, perfect. Really, really easy, super fast to get started. So well done. And with a recommendation here, so that's seamless. This is what I mean by UX. So there's a flow by means of which you're getting the user where you want them, where is the best place for you and for them. So this is perfect, because the best place for BlogVault is that I sign up, that they get my email address. And the best place for me is that I get to a place where it's easy. Sorry if I'm moving, I've got a cat.
No, it's fine.
So the best place for me as well is to be where I can actually try out the product in the easiest possible way. So this works. I don't know what's going to happen after this, but so far so brilliant. So my other observation, and I'm still completely concentrating on the major bit, the really important bit. I would say that to me, there's not enough contrast with the background. The white it's a difficult one. But because if you want the white, which I think is fine, then you should definitely darken the background, because I'm not going to do a contrast test, which you can do. But I think that to me, and I tell you just what it's like for me, it's a little bit low contrast between the background and the white, because the colors, although lovely, they're very bright. So you would want to darken them, just darken it a bit. You don't even need to change the hue. So I mean, it's a gradient, so I suppose you would have to work a little bit, but you can just go to with any color, you can just go to coolers.
Oh, I love this site.
Yeah, so for instance, I'm just gonna show you how to darken any color without really changing the hue. So I'm just gonna go to generate. And let's see, maybe I'm lucky and I'll get a green, similar green to the one they're using. So everything is much slower when
when you're doing the video.
video.
Yeah, absolutely, way slower.
Yeah, even though I have, okay, so it hasn't given me, but let's say that's let's see, color. Let's have a look at color. So if I go adjust, see that here I get the hue, saturation, and brightness. This is what I'm interested in. I'm not even changing. Let's say that this is a blue similar to the ones that they're using. So I can see that this is a super, super bright color. In this case, it's also really highly saturated, so it would definitely have good contrast. But say a color like this, let's say like this, which is a similar saturation in terms of saturation, it's kind of similar to this green. So I would then, in order to make sure that the white is more visible against it, then I would just simply take the brightness down. And that doesn't change the hue. It does change, because we work on the web, it does change the hex value, of course. But in terms of hue, it's exactly the same color. So if I look at, if I look at the hue here, the hue hasn't moved. Just by moving, and the hue is the color, just to remind you that hue means color, basically. So I don't change the color, I just change the saturation and the brightness, and I create a color that gives me a better, darker background for white.
That's cool.
So that would be my recommendation. And to me, also the start free trial. Again, the yellow is a bit too bright. So with a really bright color, needs to have a darker background. There is similar brightness. So basically, white has 100% brightness, and you want something darker than 50 as a background. And also, one other thing that I would do is there's nothing here that's telling me that this is an interactive button, and I would make that happen, because let's think, okay, that's something else that I came across today as I was doing the finishing a UX course lesson. So let's say, for instance, that you have a remote control for your TV, with the remote control having all the buttons in relief. And the thing is, it's not really needed technologically wise, because these days you could have something completely different. But in fact, remote controls that don't have anything, that are completely digital, don't work, because we're so used to going by touch. And also, if you're blind, they're really not accessible. They're not going to work. So we want to feel also, if you don't like press, you don't get the feeling. That's why I hate electrical hobs. It's like, I want the fire, I want the 3D. So in order to feel that something is interactive, you must make it look interactive. And this doesn't look interactive because it's flat. I like the rounded corners, because in real life, no button has sharp corners. So that's good. But you want to make it look interactive in the sense that maybe give it a little bit of a gradient so that it looks slightly 3D. And then also when I hover over it, make it change, because if it doesn't change, I may not notice that it's interactive. Then, of course, anybody who's heard me speak before will know that I love the fact that it's left aligned rather than centered, because as I always say, centered isn't aligned. So that's a really good choice, and I think you should carry on with that choice, BlogVault, and just keep aligning rather than centering, because here, trusted by those who you trust is not centered. It is centered, so therefore not aligned. So I'm not sure. The image here, this is just personal taste. I think it takes me a little bit to interpret it. I've now realized that this man standing here is probably a security guard. I don't think it really matters, but I think these kind of icons are getting a bit seen everywhere. So if you want to elicit a bit more of a visceral reaction, someone says, oh my God, I love this, that maybe think of an illustration that is a bit more original. But that could be just, my taste. Anyway, going further down, and looking at the time, we've got 4 websites. So let's, here is, you explain further. Again, I just, whenever you can avoid centering text, avoid it. This is kind of not, it's all right, because the problem with center text for those who haven't heard me say it before, is that the eye doesn't have an anchor, so that, your eye just wanders all over the place, and it's quite hard for people who are dyslexic, for instance. However, when the problem here is that there's all sorts, there's too many alignments. So this is center aligned. Then the title of this box is centered aligned, but then the contents of the box are not centered aligned. So I would tidy it up. It just looks, if you look at it, there's no real anchor for the eye. I would definitely tidy it up. And maybe create more of a separation between these boxes, but that's not a big deal. It's not important, but I keep noticing that. So the illustrations are really cute. They're lovely, but I do keep noticing that you've done well to not center the content of these boxes where you explain how it works, because as you probably saw when you did it, if you centered lists, they look terrible because they go all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would, and I understand why the temptation of centering the title and the image. But I would find another solution, because this definitely doesn't look aligned to me. It just doesn't. Whereas the content does, which is great. And again, here in backup site now, which is great, I'm going to see what happens. Good. I like the fact that it's not a pop-up. So it takes me to the same place. So I guess I sign up and then you get through the process, which I remember as being very easy, because it automatically installs the plugin as you give them the credentials. So again, here, the same observations. I do not like center text. And then it's quite good that you have, of course, the testimonials, because they, credibility and all that. Now, I want to, I'm sort of conscious of time. I want to have a quick look at the menu. The menu is good. Offerings is an interesting word, isn't it? I quite like it. Offerings. It's what we offer. Good. So here in the menu, the interactive elements are made to look interactive. What they do is that again, this might be personal taste, but I prefer it because it goes a little bit like it recedes. It looks, it grays out, so it fades out. To me, when I go to an item and it fades out, it means a faded out item. It means it's not active. So that's kind of my habit, my behavioral habit makes me think that. So I would recommend for the hover effect to be something that that doesn't fade out, that doesn't recede, that is actually stronger than when I'm not hovering. Sorry, the hover effect.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, so it becomes more rather than less when you hover over it. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. So I would recommend that. But see how and also I would recommend, why not make sure that elements that do perform a similar function have a similar effect. Now, maybe not the buttons, just make the buttons so that menus as a different function to a button. So not that, but then review how you do your links elsewhere and maybe use that effect. But that's what I would recommend. I'm just gonna check what happens if I do. So try now has a hover effect, but again, it makes me think it fades out. So it makes me think that. So again, it's the same. So really good, very consistent experience. So yeah, really great. Yeah.
Good.
Really great, I would say. I still think, again, I would be really interested to find out whether the wording WordPress backup plugin is something that they got to after long consideration, or if it's something that they would consider. Because I would say backup system. I don't know. I mean, one would have to think about it, but.
Yeah, I suppose plugin is just a generic term, isn't it? It's so widespread within the WordPress community. It does shout out WordPress, doesn't it? As opposed to and
it is limiting. I think you're limiting yourself if you. By the way, I wanted to say that I've always loved the logo. It's just brilliant. It's so simple and it's great. It's both a server, a lock, a vault. It's got everything.
Oh, well spotted. I hadn't seen the server there. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Clever.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Pritesh from, I presume, Blogvault, because he said they're looking at our site. He says it's so awesome to have our site being reviewed. So great, that's perfect. I've got somebody.
My pleasure. Yeah. My absolute pleasure.
Lovely.
Yeah, and look how inobtrusive the thingy is.
The little chat icon.
Mine included is way too. I mean, you can close it really easily, but it's too big. I don't like it anyway. So, good job. Great.
Okay, thank you. There we go.
Yeah.
Moving on then, is it?
Let's move on. Let's move on to Bramhole Digital, which is our friend Torkel Smith.
Hey!
Do you know Torkel? Yes.
I don't know if he's in here or not. I hope he is.
I'm liking this. I'm liking it very much. Okay. So super simple branding, which is perfect. BD, Bramwell Digital, perfect. I'm really liking this kind of coffee color.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
sort of, it's very stylish. It's unusual. Not, you don't see it that often, and I really, really like it. So increase your online visibility. Websites and online marketing strategies for measurable results. Perfect. Very clear what you do. I mean, yeah, actually, because you're saying first of all, increase your online visibility, and then you're saying websites and online marketing strategy. Yeah, very, very clear. What I would suggest, so do you struggle with your online marketing? We help established businesses with their online marketing to create a working marketing. Okay, very good copy, I find. But what I would do is I would have quick quotes here because we're in the Western Hemisphere. We start writing from the left. The left side is where our eye falls first and foremost. So what do you want from them, Torkild? You want for them to get a quick quote. What happens if I click on quick quote? Brilliant. Super easy. Great. And I would like to talk about brilliant. Just fantastic. Can you see it? Can you
Yeah.
see
Oh,
the
yeah,
pop
yeah,
up?
yeah. It's come. Yeah.
Great, because sometimes it doesn't,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
if yeah. So and look, so really done properly, because it's very easy for me to close it if it annoys me. So I'll close it. Have it here, Torkild, not down here, because I mean, this is really visible. I think it's good to have it, to have this sort of further explanation here. But I'm just wondering whether maybe you want this box on the left, or do you need the box? I don't know. Again, I would test it, see what works, and get people to try it out. But although I like the layout, because I do like the layout, it's sort of really well balanced, having the box on the right. But I'm thinking that the button, or at least have another button right after the headline. That's what I would. That's what I would say, definitely. Uh, let's see. Then another thing that comes obviously and immediately with this box is that you've used too many different fonts. So do you struggle? Is the same as the white, it's the same font, but font size and, I mean, not font, typeface. The size and the color are different, therefore it's a different font. So a font is a different version, different, size or color, whatever, of a same typeface. And then here the result is in a completely different typeface. And I think that quick quote is again different. Let me compare T's and E's. I think it's a different typeface. I might be wrong. It might be the same. I don't see enough. But anyway, unify this. Also, it looks, do you struggle with your online marketing? Looks like, think about hierarchy. I don't know which the important bit of information is in this box, because I have three different things, and one is bigger but it's lighter and it's second. So I feel that the hierarchy needs thinking about, and make it logical. So I have the most important thing bigger and thicker, and then the second most important thing less big and less thick, and so on. Do it like that, because like this it's a little bit confusing. And then I very much like that he's got quick quote here in the menu, because it's what he wants people to do. So he makes sure that it's visible as much as possible. And I love the hover effect. That's really, really nice. I love it. I really love it.
Yep.
So we know already what the quick quote does. So well done on having the phone number here. Make it clickable. Make it possible to call straight out. Think mobile as well.
Yeah, add a
this
phone
is,
attribute to that, definitely. Make it
this is not,
without
yeah,
a doubt.
absolutely. Yeah. Add the same hover effect to contact us, because otherwise it doesn't feel interactive, basically. And then I'm just going to go to plan your project, because it's interesting. Ready to start. That's great. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is, we know this. It's the WP elevation way that you tell. So again, here I would do this. I would unify again, because also looking at it, the this is, I think it looks like Arial or something like that. What's the the font that you're using in a navigation is the font that you're using in the body. But it's interesting that it feels to me like it's a mistake almost. And the reason is that you're using two sans serifs, and there isn't enough difference between the two. I mean, and also I think is this Lato or something like that?
I think it could be, yeah. It's something like
typeface.
that, isn't it? I'm looking at the W's, see if it might be railway or something. I think you're right, Lato, yeah.
No, it's not railway.
No.
It's not railway. Railway is nowhere near as nice as this. Railway, you can tell by
The W's, exactly, yeah.
Are huge in railway. So I would really recommend, it would look so stylish, Torquil, if you use just one font and differentiate by using different weights for the headings. Just do that. Just do that. And also here, the contrast between the font and the background is a little bit too low. So I would do that. And then this is an issue that I have as well with this sort of, because I think it's really important that people find out how you work before they even make an inquiry. So, but the thing is that then between this bit and the worksheet, it's too far. It's way too far. So you've lost them, I think. You have lost them. You're making it too difficult for them to get to where you want them, which is to get into the worksheet. Sorry, Ade. Excuse me.
You're all right. Don't worry. It's okay.
Sorry. So this is lovely. How the form is. We know these forms work. We know it. We have it. It's the WP elevation typo school. But I would make it. It's way too far. It's like way at the bottom. I don't know how your page performs, Torquil, but I would definitely recommend that the journey between ready to start. That's great, because if they were ready to start here, you've lost them. They've had to work too hard, and it's kind of small, too small too small, just too small. Make it bigger and make it somewhere else. Put it somewhere else as well. I know that you want them to read, but find a solution to this, because I think that you might not be helping yourself. So then let's have a look. So again here, make sure that the sub menu has the same hover effect as the menu. Maybe a different color because it's sub menu, but have the same hover effect. I like the fact that it gets stronger rather than weaker, so that's good. But I would definitely keep that lovely hover effect. Also, digital marketing. Okay. So yeah, again, the more I see the website, the more I really recommend that you just use the same font for which the best websites, the most stylish websites are the ones that have just use the same font in different weights. And this one definitely has loads of different weights. Now, what I notice here is make sure that things are aligned. I am such a sucker for alignment. And the thing is,
Yep.
if you align, that's it. If you do nothing else but make sure that everything is aligned, you have a design. You can, spend a lot of time on a page and then you haven't aligned stuff up properly, and that makes it look like it's not designed. The minute you align things and you use space between things as well, which is easy at least vertically in web design, then things will look aligned. If you look at this here, I mean, there are things that obviously the navigation is a bit more difficult to keep aligned with everything, but look how things, there's this starts here, then digital marketing starts here, and then tell me your website starts here. Do you know what I mean? And then you have a complex image that, so make sure align stuff as much as possible. Then again, here, and it's you have to just go into every box, check the padding and so on. And that's why creating a library in Beaver Builder or any other builder that you use is such a helpful thing to do, because then you just take the blocks and you know that the padding is always the same and so on. I mean, these are systems that I'm building for myself as I go along, because I think we always... So yeah, this is it. But I love also, I think the colors are so stylish. I mean, I'm personally, I always go for really super strong colors. But so when I see someone doing muted colors so successfully, I really love it. It's a very, very stylish website.
Yeah,
I think that as
I
you
agree.
sort out the alignment and use the same font and be bold. I think that because this is such a lovely font. Let me check. It has to be this Lato, isn't it?
We have who was it? I think Matt Davis said he's using Lato, so I presume he's inspected it maybe somewhere. What can you see?
Okay, so we'll trust.
Yeah, we'll trust Matt. We'll trust Matt.
It's got loads of different. We always trust Matt. It has loads of different weights, so just make use of them. And of course, the website will also be marginally faster as well, which is always good. So, moving on, because we've got 2 more and we need to move on.
Okay.
Well done, Torko. You've gone a long way, because I had a look at this a while ago and this is so much better. And one last thing that I want to say, be really bold with your titles. So digital marketing, make it as bold as your headings. So make it bigger, be bold, be a little bit bolder. I like that it's understated, but at the same time, sometimes go stronger. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Tasmania Motorcycle Tours and Rentals. Now, this is the owner of this website, whose name I forget. I
could dig out the email somewhere, but I think I promised to bin them all, so I have.
Yeah. So he says, I'm going to read what he says so that you all know what I know. A website I've made using Beaver Builder, Astra theme, ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder, which is like me. I mean, sometimes I use Generate Press or Page Builder framework, but more or less is so good practice. But it's for a small motorcycle rental business we run here in Tasmania, Australia. Tasmania is a beautiful place. Customers have commented, it looks great. They booked with us after seeing the reviews on front page. Exactly. The logo caught their eye. All positives, but I'm not a web designer by trade. So any basic no-nos that I've done or any general guidelines that I'm breaking. Workflow. I'm starting to write blogs and share the links to my Facebook page to funnel customers to website. People do not book rentals direct, but hopefully the website gives them enough to make them contact us. So we can sell or upsell via phone or email bank.
It was nice that he took the time to write a comment rather than just submit his URL. That was nice.
It's helpful. So, okay, so the first thing that I want to say is congratulations. Because if you're not a web designer, this is a really nice site. The first thing, what I'd like to find out from you, Nathan, what do you think I'm going to say first?
I think you're going to talk about the rounded corners on the Book Your Ride. That's what I would be.
Which I like, but then try harder.
Okay, is it the animation by any chance? The ride, hire, enjoy. Is that upsetting you?
That's exactly it. Upsetting is a big word because it's not that bad. But it is what's slightly flustering me a bit, because if people who've been following this know that I sent a text and animations are my bugbears, and there's no way for me to stop this.
Yeah.
So you can't. You're forcing me basically. In good UX is options, making sure that your users, customers, the humans that visit your website have options. I don't have the option to stop this, and it's making me want to move on, but I have to stay here because I have to comment. So I have no choice. I have no choice but stay here. And and you don't need it. Basically, what the problem with an animation like this is the same problem as with a slider. You can't make up your mind what's more important for you. And I
Yeah.
know that you think I'm giving, but it is all these things. We've all gone through like that exact, you know, dilemma, and sort of it's agonizing, going, oh, what do I choose? Right? Yeah, but they also tour, they also rent, and they also hire. Well, rent and hire, I would argue that you don't need both. But find another way of letting people know what they can do here. And I mean, I think that Tasmania Motorcycle Tours and Rentals is actually great. It tells you what it is, isn't it? Just perfect.
Yeah.
So, and if you get, it'd be interesting to know whether you get organic traffic, if you've done any SEO work on this. I have no idea what the competition is like in Tasmania for this. But yeah, definitely get rid of the animation, because there are people who it's a serious accessibility issue, not just because people will be made to feel seasick. Even, I mean, this is a tiny one, you know, I'd be fair, but at the same time, a web reader does not have the time to read it. It would go which is the same problem as with sliders that move, and that is that a web reader for someone who's blind can't read this. So you're doing yourself a disservice. It doesn't have someone who's blind. It could be a potential client of yours who's actually consulting the website in the car, and therefore has turned the web reader on. You know, they don't have to be, because I can hear you thinking, well, if they're blind, they're not going to ride one of my bikes. But maybe it's, you don't know. Anyway, whatever. You need to be accessible at all times. So I love the photo. It makes me want to be in Tasmania on a motorbike right now. And I think that the contrast is all right for the title and for the big things, but not for the small paragraph. I'm really struggling for a small paragraph.
Yeah, that is very small, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, very small and very thin. And I mean, there's not enough contrast with the background, and it's too small. So I would make the copy absolutely bigger. And I don't mind if it goes further down. It's fine. That's absolutely fine. And possibly give it a color background so that you don't need to darken any further the rest of it, the image. It's a colored background. That's really simple. Just do that. I love the little detail of having taken the time to do this, to change the, what's it called, the highlight. I love it. I always do it. And I really like it. The branding is great. I think that the logo is a little bit too complex for me, because see how when it goes in the favicon, I can barely see it. So get rid of the map behind it, at least in the favicon, and just have the two T's. Why do you have two T's? Tasmania Motorcycle Tours is TMTR. Okay.
Yeah.
TMTR is fine, and the two big T's are fine, and the map, if you want to keep it for where the logo is bigger, fine, do it. But it's a typical thing to try and put too many things in the logo. You actually don't need it. You know, you've got Tasmania and you don't need the map. If you like it because you like it, fine, keep it, but don't keep it when the logo is too small, because it's just confusing. I can't read it. Because of that, then you get the M and the R really, really tiny.
Yeah.
And I would even throw it in there to just have the two T's, Tasmanian Tours. Then you know, the extended thing is Tasmanian Motorcycle Tours and Rentals, but you can just call it Tasmanian Tours. That's it, unless there's someone else already called that. So then let's see. So we have, the branding is great. Love the gray. Now, what is a no is this red. So already, okay, this bright red and the gray vibrate a bit for me, because the two colors that when put together have this effect, because they've they're not complementary on the color wheel quite as such, but they're not that far from being complementary, because this gray, I would bet, has blue in it. When on top of one another, I can't even read it. it's not again here you've got your copy is your text is too small and too thin, but red on gray like this not working, so change that definitely. Why don't you just have the red background and white text? Again, make it a bit bigger and a bit thicker. Think that I'm in your age range. I mean, I would definitely want to do a motorcycle tour in Tasmania, and I have my eyesight went down like 15 years ago. There's many more people than you think that need help with seeing. Just when in doubt, make it a little bit bigger. This is, and again, I can see loads of different fonts. So Tasmanian Tour is one font, and that's lovely. Keep it. It's your branding. Great. Motorcycle Tours and Rentals. It might be the same font as this, but it's not the same font because this is Railway, I think. So again, you've got this very strong branding with this very different typeface. So keep that, but then have one typeface. And this one, whichever it is fine, just as long as it has lots of different weights that you can use. But make it bigger, 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 and don't have many different fonts. So I am usually not a fan of different, of having more than one menu, but I think here kind of works. Home, this is kind of more kind of company-related stuff, information, and here is more. I don't know what useful links means. Is that what you want them to do? I don't know. I don't know. That's that this. I'm not gonna go there now, and then I would be really interested to find out whether this form converts. I think it's great that you put it here, but I am wondering whether this is because also you're saying that the bookings don't happen on the website. So do people use it? Because personally, I don't want to. I'm not ready. When I find your website, I'm not ready to book. So maybe because I don't know yet, but is it just an information form? Because I thought that I don't book like this, do I? Because also there's no dates or anything like that. So maybe psychologically, because I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to book yet. But if instead it's like a book a callback, book a something like that might help. It would help me, that's for sure. Now I need to move on because
you're running out of time.
5 minutes. Yeah, I'm running out of time. But I'm always available for further conversations. Yeah. Then cards to WP. Okay, so this looks lovely. You see it and you go, oh, that's really nice. But I'm wondering whether it reminds you of anything. Does it remind you of something that you use? Or that's something that I use?
I'm thinking UABB maybe?
UABB, that's true. And I'm thinking of Stripe.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It reminds me of Stripe very much.
Okay.
And that's the thing because I love I think that the gradient trend is a really nice one because it gives depth, it gives interest. It's nice. I really like it. And I understand that blue tends to be the color for technology, but also Page Builder Framework has a very similar.
That's actually where
and it ends up there are so many. So why be a little bit more adventurous with your colors. It doesn't just because everybody in technology uses blue doesn't mean that you should too. And again, I don't know, maybe you've got your logo, it's all logged in, you've got your palette. Don't listen to me if there's a really good reason, but I'm just saying that because the first thing that I think is great, this is lovely, and it's left aligned, so you've got me.
Yay, he's totally taking the message. This is Barna's website, I believe. Barna Boxbaum,
yeah, it is. Yeah, hello. So I think that here I like tight alignment. It's tight is better than too wide, but this is a little bit too wide. And then again, this is important information, so make it bigger because it's a little bit too small for me. I'm having to do this. So Thrivecart to WordPress integration. It's very technical, but I guess that people who want this know, I mean, that's what they want. I want to know if I was looking for a Thrivecart to WordPress integration, which I probably am, then I would be like, oh, great, I'm in the right place. I mean, there's no other way to say this, is there?
Yeah.
Thrivecart to. So I am going to see what happens when I click on connect your cart now. Okay, so this also here, you've now centered. Damn. But anyway, I understand why you do it here. But the thing is that if you say connect your cart now, I think that is going to, what happened with BlockVolt is going to happen. You're giving me a way to connect my cart now, but you're not. You're giving me the early bird deal, which is really good early bird deal. But so it's not quite connecting. You're not. So be careful what you promise, because if you're promising that I can connect by clicking on that button, make me connect when I'm clicking on that button. Okay. And that hasn't happened. So phrase it differently. And also, I guess you can't give a test, do you? It's not something that you would do. So again, see my problem with centering. Look, this just looks like a mess. Again, it looks like a cup.
I see an egg cup. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what the problem is. And I completely understand why you would have that temptation and why it would seem to make sense, but why not experiment with actually aligning? Because also look at here how this is way too wide, this copy, way too wide due to popular demand, blah blah blah. It's way too long. There's too many words on the same line. You need to be careful of that. I mean, my window is quite wide, to be fair, but at the same time, centered only works when there isn't that much of a difference in length between the lines, and like this you just have is just way too wide different. So I would consider that. And I'm really sorry that it has, so see, this looks interactive because it goes bigger, so I really like that. But all in all, it's lovely. Here I can't see anything in this image, so I don't know where there's any point. Yeah, well, it does get bigger, so that's good. Okay, this is quite helpful. I'm really sorry that I have to go.
That's all right, Piccia. Maybe we could next time we do it next month. Maybe we could start where we left off. That might be a thing.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So Barna Pesteros next month.
Yes.
To do that one, carry it on, because
and
we
also,
scratched the surface.
Exactly, we scratched the surface, and don't forget the Design for Geeks group as well.
Yeah, just give us the URL for that quickly.
It's facebook.com/groups/Design for Geeks.
Perfect. Piccia, thank you so much. I know that you're... Oh, go on, you were going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nathan, feel free to share your link to the UX course.
Oh, I think I've still got it on this Stream Deck thing. I wonder if that's it. There you go. Piccia's UX course. I've still got a 10% offer on there. I don't know if that accounts anymore or not. No, you won't be able to see it, but if you look on the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live at the end, there it is. So yeah, she's got a course, UX for everyone. There's the link, wpbuilds.com/link/UX for everyone. That is an affiliate link, so I will become enormously wealthy and retire to Tasmania and hire bikes. That's the plan. That's what's going to happen. But yeah, thank you, Piccia. Feel free, if you need to just leg it, I will wind things up. You do that. Thank you so much. I will just carry on all by myself just for a short moment, as Piccia's had to leg it. Those comments were fun, weren't they? That was really good. I really like the fact that many of you put in comments, particularly Matt Davis. He's obviously trigger happy with his keyboard there. But thank you so much. We're endeavouring to do this each and every month. Please go to, well, actually, let me put it on the screen. If you go to, not this, go to wpbuilds.com/UI and wait for it to load. And there we go. This is the form that you're going to fill out. We've obviously just finished Wednesday, the 2nd of October, but basically name, email, the website that you want us to look at, and as the I'm sorry that I have forgotten the gentleman's name. I think it was a gentleman. He put some comments in there, so that was really helpful as well, because it gave Piccia some compass to work from, so that was really nice. Thanks for joining us. Over here, I would just say that we've got our usual podcasty archive going on. Check that out. Loads of episodes about WordPress related stuff. We do a kind of thing every Monday. We do a live on a Monday where we talk about the WordPress news. But also, if you want to check this out. We release a WordPress news each and every week just to keep you updated. It takes about half an hour to listen to, and it beats reading a whole load of stuff throughout the week. It's a summation. The other thing that I would mention is this one. This is the subscribe link, and I've got two forms that I want to show you. This grey form will enable you to sign up to our newsletters, and all that does is twice a week, once on a Monday, once on a Thursday, it tells you there's a new podcast. This one, the blue one, could be good in the run-up to Black Friday. It is a very short, like seriously short email. It's about 5 lines long. Every time I hear of a WordPress deal coming out or something very much related to WordPress, I just fire off a plain text email saying go check it out, and then there's the usual subscribey stuff. And lastly, /deals over here, there's a whole ton of WordPress related deals. Katka, this is Barna who did the Thrivecart integration that we just saw. There's a whole load of deals, cash off, loads and loads of WordPress stuff. It just keeps going. So it's a bit like Black Friday every day of the week. Go check it out. But thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for being with us today. And, joining me and Piccia. We'll come back next week. Sorry, not next week. We won't come back next week. That's a complete lie. We'll come back next month and do the whole thing again. So submit your sites. And much appreciated for you coming and making comments. Fabulous. Take care.